Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. It's Elizabeth and I'm coming to you today from Sedona, Arizona. It is Thursday, March 26th, 2020, and this is going to be a reading for Aries. Hello Aries, this is your birthday special, so I want to have a really nice session for you guys today. It is going to be good through Aries season, so we'll say most of April. Let's see. So I really wanted to start out with the astrology and kind of like hit some key points of what's going on. And I also want to mention that since we are in an Aries sun, and as I will explain and kind of detail a little bit, the energy of Chiron moving through the constellation of Aries, this reading will be important perhaps for many more people than just Aries. Now, if you have an Aries sun, moon, rising, Jupiter, Venus, Chiron especially, north node of the moon in the Aries placement, then this reading will definitely be for you. It's also a timeless reading, so if you happen to see this in a month from now or 3 months from now, feel free to watch this as we're working with the quantum field here. Let's see, what else? I hope you're all doing well. I hope everyone is healthy and staying in a positive space within their own being. I know that things are very hard collectively, globally, personally, so there's a lot going on. And so hopefully, you know, this reading will provide an outlet for better understanding, inspiration, guidance, and overall well-being for everyone who watches. So thank you and welcome. I also want to mention, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I have availability and I would love to read for you. So if that's something that you're interested in, please send me a message. You can also find me on Instagram at Elizabeth Light Tarot, and that's all one word. So feel free to follow me there and you can message me there as well. Okay, so let's get into it. So the energies that I wanted to talk about were the new moon in Aries that we moved through recently, and that was conjunct Chiron, and it also squared the moon's nodes. And this energy is going to sort of set the tone for the whole month. So we're going to talk about what is Chiron and why is it important. And so let's just get into that. Obviously, Aries energy being the first sign in the zodiac. So it's the house, the first house, the house of self. I am, right? The house of self. Aries rules the face, self. And so it is associated with the Fool in the tarot, being the zero, kind of the reset of the astrological calendar, the start of a brand new cycle, a brand new season. In the northern hemisphere, we have spring. In the southern hemisphere, you have fall. So just a fresh energy, a reset, right? Okay, so let's talk about Chiron. What is Chiron? People say, what is Chiron? Well, I've been studying astrology for a long time. I'm not an astrologer, but I'd like to say I am an amateur astrologer. It's just something I've been passionate about since I was a teenager. So Chiron is a comet, and it orbits the sun the way that the planets orbit the sun, and it has an erratic orbit. So meaning it doesn't follow exactly the same orbit. Sometimes it goes like this, sometimes it goes like that. So when Chiron is moving through the entire zodiac, shall we say, it sometimes can move through a sign for 7 years, sometimes 9 years, sometimes 6 years. So it's an erratic orbit. So like I said, it's a comet. In Greek mythology, Chiron was a centaur, and he was a centaur who was different from the other centaurs. He didn't quite fit in. A lot of them were violent and warlike. Well, Chiron was loving, and he was a healer. So his life began in a rather violent way, and that was the way he was conceived, was very violently. His father was Kronos, Saturn, and his mother was a beautiful nymph. And so when he was born, you know, Saturn, Kronos, had left and abandoned this beautiful nymph. And when she, the nymph, saw her son was a centaur, she rejected him and she abandoned him. So this created the first wound, right? The first wound, the primal wound, almost like our first wound, our deep core wounding. That's what Chiron represents. They call him the wounded healer. And why do they do that? Well, first, let's just say that after he was abandoned and rejected, he was adopted by Apollo, the sun god. Like, wow. And there's a little story showing that Apollo was actually his nephew. So go figure. Apollo, taught Chiron all that he knew, all of his wisdom, all of his love, all of his, everything he knew about medicine, everything. And Chiron then became a very powerful mentor. And he was often mentoring many of the heroes within Greek mythology, the sons of kings. So he was very well known and very well respected. But like I said, very different from this group of centaurs in Greek mythology who were warlike and aggressive. Chiron was very different. So one day Hercules goes out and he is sort of hunting centaurs. And him and Chiron are friends. And he accidentally shoots Chiron with an arrow that was laced with the blood of Hydra. So this blood of Hydra is very poisonous and it creates a wound that will never heal. So that's why they call Chiron the wounded healer. This wound will never heal. And for Chiron, this was very difficult because he was immortal. So he would have a wound that would never heal, that he would have for all of eternity. That's pretty rough. So with Chiron, it's said that he could heal everyone except for himself. And that is sort of the archetype of Chiron, this comet that moves in an erratic orbit around the sun between Saturn and Uranus. It shows our core wounding where we are able to, because it's also our superpower. So it's where we are able to give to others, do for others, what we're able to be for others, yet can't seem to do, be, and give to ourselves. What happened with Chiron, side note, there was some drama with Prometheus and Zeus and all this stuff happened, and Chiron agreed to take the place of Prometheus, and so Chiron was basically allowed to die and to not be immortal anymore. And in that, Chiron, the wounded healer, our beautiful centaur, he received sort of liberation. He was released from his wound that would never heal. So again, in astrology, it represents where we have healing powers as a result of our deep core wounding, and even perhaps our second wounding and our third wounding, right? In these areas of your life, so if you have a Chiron in Aries, if you look back on your natal chart to see when Chiron was moving through Aries last, which was 1968 to 1977. So if you were born in that window, almost definitely you have a Chiron in Aries, and now you're having your first Chiron return. And we can talk a little bit about that as well. So Chiron has been in Aries now for about a year and a half, depending on how you look at it with the retrogrades, and it's going to be there for another 7 years. So we're going to talk about this on an individual level and then also for the collective, because it affects you even if you don't have a Chiron in Aries, because the energy is going to be felt collectively. Also, if you look at your natal chart and Chiron is in your first house, this would be applicable to you too. So let's say your Chiron is in Pisces, but it's in the first house. This could apply to you as well, because first house is associated with Aries. Okay, so with your Chiron, wherever it falls in your chart, this represents where the areas where you may overcompensate, where you're hypersensitive, where you're easily triggered, where you're hyper aware, where you're sensitive and vulnerable. So it's not about having to fix anything. It's not necessarily about having to, okay, this is what it is and it needs to be fixed and I'm broken. It's about having an awareness of it. That's really what Chiron is here to show us, about having an awareness of it so that we can harness that into a gift, into an ability, into a superpower, so to speak. So I think that's why I pay attention to Chiron and why I feel like its energy is so important, and its placement in our natal chart is important, and and its kind of traverse through the solar system is important. So quickly, we're going to talk about Chiron in Pisces, because we were in Chiron in Pisces before we went into Chiron in Aries. So if you look back to, let's say, I don't know, I'm just going to guess and say maybe 2006, 2007 forward, maybe 6, 7, 8 years, 9 years. Chiron was moving through Pisces, and Pisces represents the collective, the subconscious, basically like the global energy as a whole, the collective. Pisces is everything. So the wounding, all of the bubbling up of what was kind of like wrong with society started to come up. And there became, during the Chiron transit through Pisces, we started seeing all of this stuff bubbling up to the surface about kind of like the collective wounding, where we needed to bring healing to the collective. So whether that was, things around racial injustice, child trafficking, whether it was the Me Too movement, like all of these things that really affected the collective, it was showing where the collective wounds were. So you can kind of, think about that for yourself, like what kind of things were coming up in your community, in your country, in your state, globally, like the things that we're seeing within the society, the collective that was wounded. Right? And a lot of this can go back to, now moving into Aries. Okay, so now we're experiencing a Chiron in Aries, and we're kind of just getting started with it. It moved in to Aries, like I said, about a year ago. And now it's more focused on the self. So now we can kind of turn inward. It's like, we know what's wrong globally, collectively. We know what needs to be reworked. We know where there's injustice. We know where there's wounding. And now we have the opportunity to go inward to the self and see how our self is sort of mirrored in that. If you look at the Aries Libra axis in astrology, they sit on the axis, they're opposite signs. Libra being relationships and partnerships, and Aries being the self, how it's like a mirror, like our relationships holding up a mirror for ourselves to see something, and vice versa. So I really wanted to touch on that. Those of you who have a Chiron in Aries and are going through a Chiron return, I really think that the reading that we're going to get into will be beneficial for you. And collectively, Aries is kind of in a spotlight right now because the sun is in Aries. The sun is a spotlight. So perhaps, this reading will resonate for everybody. And so let's see if there was anything else in my notes. Chiron, where we can give, help, heal others, but can't do the same for ourselves. Chiron and Aries people, I want to give you guys a little shout out. You are able to shake off your pain and move forward very quickly. You heal quickly. People may think you're insensitive, but you're not. In fact, people with a Chiron in Aries have endured many, many hardships, much wounding, very damaging wounds, in fact, that if people really knew, they would wonder how you survived it all. So that's very interesting, especially because Aries is associated with the masculine, the warrior, Mars, planet of war, drive, will, determination, assertiveness, being a leader, aka the Emperor in the major arcana associated with Aries. And prior to 1968 through 1977, Worth noting is that Chiron moved through Aries from 1918 to 1927, and that was the Roaring 20s. So about kind of like breaking free, liberation, but through very conflicted times. And we could sort of say that now, because now we're in the 20s again. And I wonder what we will term this 20s, because that was the Roaring 20s of the 1900s. So in our century, what's that going to be? I think there's another breaking free through conflict, right? Perhaps this conflict is also very internal. So, okay, enough of that. For the notes, I'm going to make note of the timestamp here. So I will timestamp this reading. For people who really aren't interested in hearing me blah, 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 you can skip over this. So, okay. So thank you so much if you did listen to that. And if you have any additional insight or, comments or anything, please feel free to let me know. So what we're going to do for you, my dear Aries, is we're going to pull a crystal healing card. And I did something very special for you guys today. I took 2 of Kyle Gray's decks, so Angel Prayers and Keepers of the Light. And from the Angel Prayers deck, I took out every single card that was an Archangel card from Angel Prayers, and I combined it with the Keepers of the Light. So I essentially made a mega deck. And this is something that Kyle Gray does recommend doing. So that's going to be really fun. We're going to do an angel card and a crystal card, and then we'll get into the tarot portion. And then I've pulled 3 additional fun oracle decks that we can use if it feels right, and if the time feels good when the tarot portion's over. So, okay, just going to get grounded and connected here. All of my cards have been cleared, smudged and saged. They've been pre-shuffled. 2 of the cards that I saw during your pre-shuffle, Aries, that sort of came out together was the 2 of Cups with the Star card. So that may resonate for you, sort of a renewal around relationships, a healing around relationships, new hope inside of existing relationships. So it feels very connected into relationships, whether it's soulmate or family or friends. So I wanted to start with that. And for the tarot, I'm going to use the Chakra Wisdom Tarot by Tori Hartman. There's such a great deck, really colorful, because, you guys are such a powerful sign. You are Aries. I wanted to use a really colorful deck for you. So we are going to just do one quick shuffle for the Crystal Healing Oracle, because I've already shuffled them, and then we'll pull a Crystal Healing card. And I call in the divine with love and light. I call in the archangels at the 4 corners of the world. I call in Archangel Metatron and Archangel Sandalphon as well, to both ground the reading and connect us with the Akashic Records and cosmic intelligence. I call in the 6 elements: earth, air, water, fire, spirit, and ether. Whoops. Okay. I'm not going to take any jumpers today unless it's like, I don't know, unless it really feels right. So 1 card for Aries, please. 1 crystal card, please, for my dear Aries. Fire. And happy birthday, you guys. Happy, happy birthday. Aries. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I feel like you got robbed. No. I think what we're going to do is take from the bottom of the deck too. So in this deck, we have cards of elements, okay? So not every single card is a crystal, but there are a few cards that are elemental cards, and you got the element of wind. See that? You got the element of wind. And at the bottom of the deck is kyanite, because I do want you to have a crystal that you can refer back to. So it's saying that right now the element of wind is important for you. Fresh air, I'm hearing fresh air. So it's definitely saying to me to get outside and get some fresh air, breath, even if you're doing breath work, because remember the elements are also within us, and wind translates into the breath within us. So for me, and then kyanite being at the bottom of the deck is speaking to needing to ground and needing to breathe. Kyanite is a really special stone, whether it's black kyanite, blue kyanite, titanium kyanite. I think I've got a piece of titanium here. So I'll just show you this. That's a titanium kyanite. So titanium, and they sometimes call it a witch's broom for all my witches, because it does have that kind of like fan broom-like shape to it. And this is a very small piece, and this has been alchemically bonded with titanium. Really beautiful. Kyanite is so beautiful, especially the black kyanite and the titanium, because it is extremely protective. It has the ability to clear and align all of your chakras. It works with all of the chakras. And that's why here it says inner bridges, because it can do that for you, where it will clear and align all of your chakras. It works with all of them equally. And that this, I'm not really positive about, but it said that with kyanite, you don't need to clear it. It's not able to hold any lesser vibration, similar to selenite. Although I still think that crystals love to be held over smoke or put under the moonlight or put in sunlight for a few minutes just to be charged and that. So yeah, so it seems like, and wind, you know, wind, as far as like our aura goes, wind has the ability to clear your aura. So I'm not particularly a fan of high winds. I don't really love being out in high winds for long periods of time. But for a short period of time, the wind really can work to clear our entire auric fields. So that's something you can do. If you can stand outside and let's say there's a decent wind, and you can set the intention, close your eyes, breathe deeply, do a sort of meditation, and let the wind clear your entire aura. Let it take away anything that doesn't belong there. And the kyanite sort of does that too. So I think that there's definitely a theme here. So it seems like, Aries, you may need to do some clearing. Now, air being an element that can do two things for fire. It can activate fire, right? You know, it can spread fire, or it can be blown so hard that it can put it out. So I'm feeling like a sort of balance here, balancing, that, you know, with the wind, it's the internal wind, it's not too strong, but it's also not too soft, if that makes sense. So I'm feeling like a balancing. The kyanite is a storm card. You can see the electricity there of the storm. It's a storm element in this deck. So that's also, and also with the mountain there, it is speaking to challenges. Mountains often do represent obstacles, and the kyanite is the bridge that helps you get over the obstacle. Kyanite is also a healing stone. I mean, all crystals are healing stones. Kyanite is a very high vibrational healing stone. It's a wonderful stone to use for healing, especially titanium kyanite. If there's an opportunity for you to do some healing work with another person, if one person puts their hand out like this, and then you put your hand over their hand, and you both receive the energy of the kyanite, you can almost do healing within the relationship like telepathically. So it works really well if you're looking to do any type of energy healing. I think it's a good Reiki stone as well. So yes, kyanite, the inner bridges, kind of like what obstacles we have, what conflicts we have internally, that kyanite will help to kind of clear them or create a bridge so that we are able to like traverse through those conflicts more gracefully and victoriously is what I'm hearing. I really love it, you guys. Okay, so let's get you an angel card now. And it's possible that it may be an ascended master that comes out as opposed to an angel card. So we'll see what wants to come out for Aries. I do love the colors that are coming through for you. Very etheric, very dreamy. The sort of lavenders and purples and subtle magentas. And then with this mountain, you know, the blue sky and the green of the meadows and the snow on the peak of the mountain. It's really lovely, the color scheme that's coming out for you, the blues and purples and pinks and greens. Very nice, you guys. Okay, let's get you an angel card. Oh, well, 2 fell out, so we're not going to take those. We're just going to take 1. It is very windy here today, and actually really was planning on doing your reading outside on the Red Rocks, but it was too windy for me, and I don't have a microphone, like a professional microphone, so it would have been all kinds of crazy. So next time for sure. Okay, 1 more shuffle, and I'm going to take from the top of the deck. Okay, Radha, so you have a Hindu goddess here. Soul flame, rediscover a lost part of yourself, experience relationship harmony and healing. Those were the cards that I was seeing in your pre-shuffle for the tarot, was 2 of Cups with the star, relationship healing. So soul flame, Radha, rediscover a lost part of yourself, experience relationship harmony and healing. Beautiful. I'm going to read from the book. You know, I don't know that this card has ever come out in one of my readings, so I love that. It did for you. Hindu goddess Radha is the divine feminine counterpart of the twin flame of Krishna. Hare Krishna. She is considered to represent Shakti, the divine feminine, and creative spirit of the universal life force. Without the female, the male cannot be created, and for this reason, Shakti is a powerful force that is honored and cherished. Radha is completely devoted to her partner and illustrates the age-old adage behind every powerful man is a powerful woman. She is dedicated to supporting all those who seek relationship harmony and healing. This is exactly what I was seeing in your pre-shuffle. At one point, she learned what it was like to be separated from Krishna, and so she can bring great healing to those who are suffering the loss of a partner or a separation. The extended message, loving union, connection, and relationship harmony are key at this time. It's important to remember, though, that relationships don't make you whole. Only your own love can do that. You now have opportunities to find lost parts of yourself, maybe sensual aspects or the capacity to cherish yourself. The relationships around you will then begin to reflect the love you have for yourself. Increased romance, love, and opportunities to express divine harmony through love are all becoming apparent in your life. You deserve divine love. And Radha, with her Shakti presence, is here to awaken this loving connection with you now. Yeah, definitely speaking to relationships. 100%. I love that. I mean, Krishna, you know, Krishna is a powerful God, and this is his twin flame or his twin soul. So let's see what comes out in the tarot portion and how this is resonating for you guys so far. Thank you, angels. Oh, and what was on the bottom? I just want to see what was on the bottom of the deck. Green Tara, supreme protection. So like, man, divine feminine energy coming out. This is saying you are protected, cords are being cut, move beyond limitation and trust. Amazing, amazing, amazing. You are protected, Aries. You are protected. And I think your relationships are protected too. Breathe, Aries. I know sometimes you guys are very hot-headed, but that's one of the things I love about you. I'm a fire sign too, Sag here. I have Aries placements in my chart. My midhaven is in Aries. My Jupiter is in Aries, and my Chiron is in Aries. So I am one of those kids who's going through the Chiron return. Okay, so let's move on to the tarot portion. This is the Chakra Wisdom Tarot by Tori Hartman. And I haven't used these in a while, but this morning they were just winking at me, and I had posted on my Instagram like 2 really lovely cards. It was the 2 of Wands with the Magician and all sacral chakra energy that was coming through. So definitely speaking to, you know, the emotional realm, the emotional body, creativity, creativity, you know, emotional intelligence. Gosh, my hands are slippery today. Okay, let's get grounded here. Usually I have like a little pillow under my chair, and I forgot it today because it props me up a little because I'm pretty short, so okay. The mother is with you, Aries. The mother is with you. She's there to comfort you. This Radha energy, the green Tara, there is a mothering energy in your field right now that wants to support you, comfort you, protect you, and bring you love. And it's also about your god or goddess within, whether you're male or female. It's also about your god or goddess within. I'm going to take 3 cards to start. Let's see where we go from there. Okay, out first. The Wheel of Fortune. Well, that's quite a way to start off. Ending a cycle, the wheel turning in your favor. Card of Jupiter, of good luck and fortune. So you guys have ended a cycle, you know, and this could be signifying Pisces to Aries season, the reset of the astrological calendar. The Wheel of Fortune in this deck is associated with the heart chakra. So it's about lessons of the heart in this particular cycle, what your heart has learned. So again, speaking to relationships. Let's see what else wants to come out. This one. 3 of Cups. Celebration and friendship. The support that you have in your relationships. So this is about having more support right now coming in for you from friends, family, loved ones. This is solar plexus energy here. The yellow being associated with the solar plexus, you know, the action that we can take out into the world because we're confident and we have the energy to do so and the drive to do so. This last cycle that you went through really may have been quite challenging for you in your relationships, where there wasn't a whole lot of support, misunderstandings, a lot of misunderstandings. This one. Queen of Cups in reverse. And it's funny because I don't really think that I didn't even know that there were any cards in here that were reversed. But the Queen of Cups is reversed, so we're going to talk about that. You know, that can be challenging. So let me show you the first two cards, the Wheel of Fortune with the Three of Cups. Look at that, those beautiful colors. And I love that in this Wheel of Fortune, it's almost like she has the aces, like in the same way that the Magician has the aces. They're carrying over the energy of the Magician into this Wheel of Fortune card. So it's showing that in the areas of the heart space, that you have all of the tools that you need to succeed, that there is a sort of emotional intelligence. However, that being said, when you have a Queen of Cups reverse, this is someone who does not have mastery over her emotions and is like emotionally unstable, I want to say. Emotionally unstable. So she came out in the reverse. And this really could be the energy that you moved through, where there was volatility, like emotional ups and downs for you, a lot of emotional ups and downs. And that was like sort of affecting, you know, because now we've got two cups energy coming out for you, Aries, the Three of Cups and the Queen of Cups in reverse. But this cycle is coming to an end. So, you know, I think now we'll see what else wants to come out, but now this is turning around because the wheel, you know, the wheel turns, right? The wheel of fortune, it turns, so that you're coming out of this difficult emotional time. And that's why I was feeling the energy of you needing to clear and realign, you know, and the wind element coming in for you to help you do that. The wind element. And like rediscovering this lost part of yourself and being able to now heal relationships. Being able to heal relationships. It seems like you have been through a tough cycle, Aries. A tough cycle. So let's see. The Tower on the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Sudden. Things that come in suddenly. Literally shake our whole world up. Literally shake the whole world up. Like crumbling of something. It could be an internal tower, or it can manifest in the physical. However, that being said, it's freeing us from the devil. Freeing us from the things that hold us back, freeing us from the chains that bind, freeing us from codependency, freeing us from the things that imprison us. So while it happens suddenly, that's the lightning bolt. It's very Uranian. While it does happen suddenly, it's there for our liberation. So it seems, Aries, you went through some kind of a tower moment in a relationship, you know, in your physical world where things were really shaken up. Something changed very abruptly for you, but you are coming out of that now with the Wheel of Fortune coming out first. You are 100% coming out of that now. In this Wheel of Fortune, you can see, you know, she is magic, this Wheel of Fortune. She, like I said, with all of the aces, she has that magician vibe. And you can see all of these little like sprites and fairies dancing around her, showing that she's connected into this more subtle energies of the earth, the magical realm, and that she's using these aces to channel the power of the universe, of the galaxy, you know, whatever that is. So it's really a very, very powerful Wheel of Fortune card. So you're coming out of this. Let's see where you are now. We're going to call this like sort of the past or the foundation. And this could have happened last week, last month, last year. So it'll be different for everyone. Tarot timing is a hell of a thing. Tarot timing, you know, some of us move through energies very quickly. Some of us move through energies a little slower. It really just depends. It's different for everyone. The Chariot wanting to pop out. I like this one. The Tower. Okay, so Spirit just wanted to reiterate to me that yes, indeed, there was a Tower moment coming out under the Wheel of Fortune, and that that, you know, it's turning back around for you. This, you know, seemingly unfortunate event that happened for you is really bringing you blessings now. That it's now you're coming out of this, and now you're receiving the blessings from that. I want you guys to be able to kind of like see the cards. Okay. Wow. Isn't that fascinating? Okay. Ten of Coins. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You know, this is about your oak tree. This is about your legacy. This is about your stability. And so for me now, these relationship problems, this emotional, and this could be the relationship with yourself, this emotional instability, the ups and the downs, were really surrounding your sense of safety, of stability, your pentacles, you know, the things in the physical, the things you can see, feel, touch, your source of income, your home, your family, you know, this treasure chest of things that you can leave for future generation. The oak tree, the thing that took so long to grow, it's surrounding that. And again, that's related into the solar plexus. Now, Aries, you know, your energy is very much related to the solar plexus. It's will. You know, it's very Mars-like, our solar plexus. It's what connects, it's our inner sun, and it's what connects us, you know, with the sun, and it's our driving force, our confidence. I think your confidence really took a hit. Your self-confidence really took a hit, because even in the Three of Cups, this can speak to self-confidence as well. If you see the Three of Cups, all of these women sort of look the same. They all look the same. Do they think the same? Do they act the same? Are they, you know, are they just, are they real? Are they even real? Or are they dolls? So it is speaking to self-confidence, being able to be unique, be your individual self, really express who you are, not dimming your light to fit in with any group. So I think, yeah, it feels like, you know, like your confidence took a hit, and this Rada energy that's coming in to rediscover a lost part of yourself throughout this process of the Tower crumbling to free us from the devil. And perhaps that devil energy was, you know, about this lack of self-confidence, this being unsure, the emotional ups and downs, not really being centered, not really being fully aligned. That's hard, Aries. This is a tough reading. Happy birthday to you. But like I said, with the Wheel of Fortune coming in, And the 10 of coins coming in, it's showing that there has been a shift, or there will be a shift very soon. Now, obviously, with what's going on in the global community, the World and the 3 of Wands, well, that's amazing. Ending of a huge cycle, and now your ships are coming in. Should we take that, Aries? I think we should take that. We're going to take it. Yeah, this isn't just the end of a cycle. This is the end of a huge cycle for you. It's a brand new start. With the World, we have learned all of the lessons that we needed to learn from that stage in our life, that cycle in our life. And they were hard-earned lessons. It's Saturn. It's very Saturnian. They were very difficult. And while we are going through some of those lessons, we can feel like this reversed Queen of Cups. I'm feeling like a grief and a loss here. A grief and a loss. And like I was saying, just like maybe one day you felt really good and then the next day you're like, you know, really a mess. The 3 of Wands comes in. Another solar plexus. If you look at this spread, it's almost all yellow. Almost all yellow. Like your fire is coming back, Aries. Your fire is coming back. And the seeds that you did plant, right? Because the 10 of coins starts out with the ace, which is the seed. That ace is like an acorn. And after however long, it grows into a tree. It's the oak tree. Here with the 3 of Wands coming out, you know, under the Wheel of Fortune, under the Tower, it's saying that those seeds that you did plant, Aries, they are going to bear fruit. Your ships are coming in, like she can see them. 3 of Wands is associated with the Empress, 3s. So it is about creation and manifesting, seeing the results of the things that, you know, our intentions that we sent out into the universe, and then the inspired action that we took. So now is the time to keep going with that. Don't give up. Do not give up. Don't. And for many of you, you're maybe watching this like, I'm not working right now. I don't have any income right now. I'm going through what little savings I have. I'm a mess, like, you know, or I'm just riding this wave. You know, I'm experiencing some unemployment right now, but I know I will get back to work eventually. And I'm riding the wave and I'm taking it day by day, and I'm, you know, feeling pretty good. That's awesome. I'm really happy for you. And it's saying, you know, this too shall pass. Amazing. Amazing, Aries. And this whole Chiron and Aries thing, getting back to that, if you didn't watch the first 15 minutes of me rambling, I'm not offended at all. It's talking about Chiron and Aries being like, not unbreakable, but so resilient, so able to move on from the wounding quickly, not dwelling in it, not drowning in it. So I think that's also you right now. I think that Aries, over the next 7 years, you're going to be able to embody this Chiron archetype. Do you know how powerful that is? Like, I'm getting chills right now, that because I love Aries, I have such an affinity for you guys and gals, that you will really be able to embody that. Like, I'm feeling emotional right now. I don't know where it's coming from. That you guys are so powerful and you're so strong, and whatever you have gone through, Aries, or are going through, it's going to be your superpower. Knight of Wands. I love it. Yes. More fire energy. Like, here's your Sag brother or sister coming in to be like, get on your horse, guys. Be inspired. Be a little bit ridiculous. Have an adventure, you know, charge through this water of emotion, this reversed Queen of Cups. It's almost like the Knight is like coming out of that water that the reversed Queen of Cups was drowning in. Knight of Wands is Sag energy, it's fire energy. But what I love about this deck is it's not red, it's not orange, it's not yellow, it's blue. It's blue. It's associated with throat chakra. So, and now my throat chakra is going. I'm going to take a sip. No, there's no water here. I made that up. Oh, there's water in the background. It's air around him. It's not even fire around him, which is so interesting, going back to wind and storm for kyanite. This Knight of Wands is kind of coming out of a desert. I see sand dunes. I see kind of desert-like flora. So it's about coming out of this time of kind of being in a desert where maybe there wasn't the abundance that you wanted around you. Maybe there wasn't the support that you needed around you. A kind of desert, and charging forward. And I feel like there's a new truth that's ready to come out of you, because this is throat chakra associated with the blue. So it's about this will, this new will and fire that's coming through you that wants to go out and communicate that. The 10 of Coins is now at the heart of the reading. So if you look, this is going to be a 9-card block, and the 10 of Coins will be in the center of that. So this is revolving around your stability, your family, partnerships, your home, your finances. Like I said, the things you can see, feel, and touch. And so it's about achieving that, getting back on the horse again. Getting back on the horse again. Get out of the desert. I live in the high desert, so I don't mean that literally. But I mean in terms of where there's a perceived lack, that you're really, really ready to charge forward. And and be adventurous. Take risks. The Sag energy, the Knight of Wands, can be somewhat of a gambler. So it's suggesting that you might want to take some risks now. Because you've been through the world, you're going to have very keen discernment right now, Aries. You are. You're really going to be able to discern. I mean, look, she's in all white. This is like a purity. It's a purity. It's like when I was talking about the wind clearing the aura, that's her. She's been through the storm. She's been through all of the lessons of the world, and now she's come out totally pure, totally reborn. Because in the Tarot, we would start over with the Fool, the 0. And that's your card, Aries. That's your card. Powerful reading, you guys. One more card. King of Swords. Interesting. Like I said, there was a truth here. There is a new truth that you have. If you were embodying the energy of a reversed Queen of Cups for some time, or you at least felt like you were, because this is the other thing I want to say. Other people around you may have not even known that this was happening for you internally. That would be very Aries of you. Unless you're really someone who wears your heart on your sleeve, where there's like, it's unmistakable if you're feeling sad or feeling confused or feeling agitated or frustrated. I'm wondering if people even knew that this was all happening for you. The reversed Queen of Cups goes through this total completion and comes out a king. And he's a King of Swords. So there's more air energy. This air element is very important for you right now, Aries. The King of Swords is detached and cool and not very emotional. So I think this aspect that you may be sort of embodying right now through Aries season is going to be one that is all about logic and coming from the higher mind. Very matter of fact, very solution oriented. You know, he's not about the emotional realm. He's not going to be over emotional. You know, he's going to just appear very level. So you may be appearing very level right now. With everything that's going on in the world, you may be the one that's sort of being more neutral, because he can also be like the counselor or the lawyer. So he will sort of like give advice and be a counselor. So you may actually be using these experiences now to just jump right in and help other people, and trying to be service oriented right now as well. Bottom of the deck, the Queen of Coins. Someone very reliable, abundant, knows her own worth. There's more of that crown chakra, third eye chakra. The King of Swords, you know, this is a crown chakra energy. So this is speaking to opening up your connection to the divine at this time. And how are you going to like do that? It's going to be through this sort of free-spirited energy. I know these are two very different energies. The Knight of Wands with the King of Swords, it feels like it's such a different energy, but they're both upper chakra, you know, communication, connection to the divine. So I'm definitely suggesting some introspection as far as like clearing the mind, again, having this clearness about you, clearing the mind and coming from a more logical, using the mind to communicate. It's going to be less emotional for you this month. So I really do love that progression from the Queen of Cups in reverse to the World to the King of Swords. Really beautiful, you guys. I want to take an advice card for you, and I don't always do advice cards, but just like a bonus card, an additional message, a message from Spirit, a message from your highest self, and then we're going to do some oracle cards. Wow, I'm under an hour. So proud of myself. Okay. Princess of Coins. So there's an opportunity for like a new beginning here, a new start, a new opportunity that's around your abundance, new business opportunities, because, and she's coming from the heart, and you see the yellow on the border. It's like yellow and green. It's like coming out of all of this yellow and moving up through the heart chakra. So all of this solar plexus activity that you could be experiencing right now, renewed self-confidence, drive to like go out and get your pentacles after this tower moment, bringing that up into the heart space, making your heart more magnetic, I'm hearing, as like if if we could measure our heart and the electromagnetic field around our heart, I'm seeing the electromagnetic field of your heart expanding from all of this solar plexus activity, that it's then moving through the heart. And through that, it's like magnetizing likeness to you in the form of this beautiful, sweet princess who may come to you with a new opportunity. This could be like moving, an opportunity to move, But the abundance aspect of it, the opportunity to grow something, to grow it into that 10 of coins, So watch out for that. But I'm seeing like the electromagnetic field of your heart expanding. That's really beautiful. I love that. All right, Aries. So which one next? I have a Moonology card. So maybe we'll just pull one of those just to get some astrological influence here. And like I said, I've pre-shuffled all of these. So we're just going to do one. And I'm going to ask for one card for my dear Aries. I wonder if this is resonating for any of you. And like I said, if you're an Aries moon or rising, Venus, Jupiter, you can apply it to, you know, those aspects of your life. Your moon would be around the emotional realm. Your rising would be like kind of like how you're carrying yourself out into the world, your ascendant. Your Venus would be around like relationships. Your Jupiter would be like around your abundance. North Node would be appropriate. Like if your North Node is in Aries, it's like a destiny. So this would really be great. And like I said, Chiron, you have Chiron in Aries. Please watch this. One card, please. Ooh. A personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon in Cancer. Yeah, the emotions. Queen of Cups. Full moon in Cancer. You know, and this has reached a resolution. This whole thing. And if you're sitting here like, no, it hasn't, then it's going to. Then this is your confirmation that it's going to, and that maybe this will give you a renewed sense of determination and will to like resolve it yourself. A personal issue reaches a resolution. Full moon in Cancer. Okay. Next card we're going to do is the Star Seed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell, artwork by Danielle Noel. And so this is for my light worker Aries, Starseed Aries, Galactic Aries, Angelic Aries. We're going to get you guys a card, guys and gals. Wow, I got emotional there for a minute, Aries. That one. This card loves to come up. I'm telling you, it's certain cards in this deck. You're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness and face your true north. So here we have this woman, and she's standing, like, I keep wondering if she's like on some ship somewhere. Maybe she's standing on Chiron, right? Wow, I'm having an epiphany here. I have been trying to figure out what she's been standing on all this time. And I'm realizing now that she's standing on Chiron because she has her arms out, and like the blue rings kind of remind me of Uranus, could be Saturnian. And if Chiron orbits between the two, then she could very well be standing on Chiron. And she has her arms just like stretched out to the universe, and her back is turned towards something. So this is about, you know, it's okay if you're not for everyone. It's okay. That's why I was saying before, I was feeling this energy of not dimming your light to fit in, that it's okay to stand out from the crowd. You know, to embrace the things about you that make you unique and special. And if other people can't handle it, like, that's their problem, not yours. Be you. And Aries is the self. So it is, you know, about discovery of self, being an Aries, like who you really are, you know. Beautiful. I love it. You're not for everyone. Bottom of the deck, let's see what was there. Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wished you had. That's very like Chiron and Aries, that core wounding. Very much so. Forge, don't follow. Again, going back to not needing to follow the crowd. Creating your own path. There is a sense of independence coming through in this reading, Aries. but that there is still going to be support for you from other people. But yeah. Okay, the last deck I'm going to use is like a fun deck. So I wanted to do a dragon card for Aries because, you know, fire, dragons, but instead of doing the Diana Cooper deck, I decided to do the Field Guide to Garden Dragons by Arwen Lynch. This is such a cute deck. It's really inexpensive. If anyone's looking to get like a really cute, you know, little oracle card that you can even use with your children, because it's so child friendly and it's really fun and playful, and I just felt like I wanted to bring a little playful energy into the Aries reading today. So we're gonna get you a garden dragon, and they're so cute and they're like so fun, and even for people, like I said, who, you know, who are younger, or for people who, you know, just aren't really like into this whole tarot oracle thing, it's really, really fun and everybody can relate to it. And it's just a way of bringing everyone into the conversation. So if you're looking for like a cool oracle deck to get, like, check it out. Field Guide to the Garden Dragons by Arwen Lynch. And let's get you a garden dragon, Aries. That one. Oh, friends. It just really cracks me up. So these things. So you got Corn Dragon, and that is the card of friends. Look how cute. And he has his friends around him. There's like this giant kind of like butterfly moth, and he's a corn dragon. So I actually want to read that to you. And on the bottom of your deck was the broccoli dragon. We'll see. Little broccoli dragon. So cute. And I was also, you know, with springtime being in the northern hemisphere, and then the beginning of autumn being in the southern hemisphere, it's a time of planting and a time of harvesting. So gardens just felt, you know, kind of appropriate for this time of year. So we're going to get you a message from the corn dragon. Like there's a coconut dragon, a strawberry dragon, a blueberry dragon, a coffee dragon. So cool. Keyword friends. So we're going to talk about his appearance. With its nubby yellow hide, this dragon is easily recognized. The fully mature corn dragon will have the triangular yellow, orange, and white tail, but the young dragonette will only have the white tip. Each dorsal spine is a sharp, hard spike. If you would catch one to examine, please mind the wings. They may look silky soft, but the edges are blade thin. This creature can and will use those wings as protection. Dragons vary in height, but most are knee-high by the 4th of July. Habitat. Tall corn plants attract this yellow individual. You guys, sacral chakra. Those who track the corn dragon would do well to wear heavy denim on legs and arms, as the leaves of their signature plant can be razor sharp. This unwary observer will find themselves with scratches if they aren't careful. Sounds a little Aries-like. The best months to see the adult version are August and September. They prefer weather that features a hot, blazing sun punctuated by occasional rain. Field notes. This dragon actually sheds its dorsal spines. One can gather them up to roast or pop to get a fluffy white treat. There are 2 main varieties of this dragon, but each has several subgenera. All can be found in fields or spacious areas rather than forests. Interesting, fields or spacious areas where there's a lot of wind, perhaps. And the mystical meaning. Corn dragon reminds us that community and family are what sustain us. Be ready for growth in that area when this little yellow creature arrives. Each kernel represents an aspect of how we gather with others and how we offer and receive mutual support. 3 of Cups. Be ready to ask yourself who is important to you right now. Nurture those relationships and see how much they grow. 10 of Coins. All right. So, Aries, this was your birthday special. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that it brought you some insight and inspiration. As always, I send you infinite love and light and blessings from me to you. And yeah, if this resonates, please feel free to leave me a comment. Feel free to share it if you know any other Aries out there who you think may benefit from this. And yeah, I will be seeing you guys real soon. Have an amazing solar return. Stay healthy, stay positive, and I love you guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.